Gulenists are one of the most dangerous cults in the world, but they're not your normal terrorist organization.
Ten years on, the dark network behind the Fethullah terror organization, FETO, which carried out the coup attempt in Turkey on July 15, 2016, has been largely dismantled within the country. But outside Turkey, the group's existence across Europe and the US has only strengthened. To understand how, we need to take a look at their insidious strategy of being able to hide in plain sight while using public resources in Western countries for their own goals. Opening institutions and running them in Western countries is not easy. To do that, FETO terror group members adopted a familiar Western method against the West itself, using and abusing terms like democracy and secularism, to launch schools that operated under the guises of promoting secularism or interfaith dialogue, thus convincing Western governments to continue supporting them. By applying these methods, the terror group posed as modern and Western, but they were hidden in plain sight. Behind this facade, they created a vast education hub used to generate money and recruit new members into the network. You might be an ordinary US citizen looking for the best school for your children. These websites look promising at the first glance, but they are all run by FETO. Over the years, the terror group built a hybrid system around charter schools. These schools are often set up in low-income areas, where FETO could access more government funding. But the schools also operated much like private institutions, with additional revenue streams built around them.
New Plan Learning then acquires a property and rents or subleases it. The charter school governing board enters into an agreement with Concept for management of the school that Concept created. And even in schools we found that had rentals with unaffiliated third-party lessors, New Plan Learning has bought the building and then doubled, tripled, or quadrupled the rent to the charter school. For older Concept charter schools that already own their building, New Plan buys the building at a break-even point and then charges the charter school rent that far exceeds the purchase price. In the Ohio complaint that we are filing, we've identified $19 million in excessive profits in this real estate scam alone.
Today, there are 312 FETO-affiliated institutions in the US, 155 of which operate as charter schools, with most of them located in Texas, Ohio, California, and Florida. FETO-linked schools in the US are estimated to generate around $500,000 to $750,000 annually. The system is highly centralized and built around strict internal loyalty, as leadership roles are taken mostly by FETO members. When a school is opened, administrators are typically assigned through a Pennsylvania-based FETO network, while affiliated individuals are strategically placed as teachers. According to reports, up to 10% of employees' salaries is funneled back to the organization.
Firstly, they all have a governing board of appointed, not elected individuals, generally those of Turkish descent, operating in a super majority. They all use closely affiliated vendors, operated, governed, or staffed by members of the Gulen organization, and often paid grossly inflated prices for their services. 3, they send the employees around to the different Gulen organizations when they get into trouble.
The terror group also uses academia as a front to secure visas and resident permits for its members.
Now again, I want to stress, the real estate scam is in addition to the visa scam, which is in addition to the related party transaction scam, which is in addition to the 700 H-1B visa applications that Ohio taxpayers have paid for.
In 2019, the FETO-linked Virginia International University was shut down after the US Center for Immigration Studies found that it was primarily focused on helping members obtain F1 student visas to enter the United States, rather than providing quality education. It was reported that many individuals entering the US under student visa reportedly left the school within about a year. Now closed by the US government, the university was led by Sheriff Tekelal, who is on Turkey's Red Wanted list for terrorism, and now works as the vice president of yet another FETO facility, North American University. Another high-profile figure from the terror group, Emrullah Uslu, who goes by Emre Uslu on social media and is known for actively targeting Turkey and its democracy, also worked at the now-closed school. Fugitive Dr. Mustafa Sarsılmaz, the suspected figure behind the suspicious 1993 death of then Turkish President Turgut Özal, was also among those worked at VIU, obtaining US residency through the institution. This wasn't the only time FETO was linked to illegal activities in the US. In 2017, the terror group was found to have used forged signatures and fabricated addresses in a 2015 charter school application in New Jersey. One of those forged signatures was that of a person who had died in 2007. US officials described the filing as fraudulent and launched an investigation. In 2020, several FETO-linked institutions were fined $4.5 million for manipulating federal contracts in favor of select technology vendors connected to their network of charter schools across multiple states. Europe, which has been harboring FETO terrorists despite countless official extradition requests from Türkiye, is no stranger to FETO-run schools. Although most of these schools were rebranded after July 15, their teaching staff has largely remained the same. These schools operate across Europe, with most activity in Germany and the United Kingdom. In Germany alone, the terror group is linked to at least 24 schools, around 300 associations, and roughly 150 educational support centres. The network also operates so-called lighthouses, shared dorm-style apartments that accommodate university students while being used for ideological training and recruitment to the group. The UK, on the other hand, is often described as the group's financial hub. It has become a destination for business figures associated with the network. The terror group started losing credibility among Muslim communities in the UK after the failed coup attempt in Türkiye, which led to a decrease in the number of FETO-linked primary and secondary schools in the country. In response, the group shifted its focus towards language schools, think tanks and study centres, and employed their own English-speaking members to secure their residency. One such member is Abdul Karim Balcı, who now heads a so-called think tank named Human Rights Solidarity. The institution acts as a propaganda platform, publishing reports that advocate justice for FETO members detained over their active role in the failed coup, and frequently agitate against the Turkish government and state. Norway has also stood out as a key destination for FETO-linked asylum applications after 2016, with the group expanding its presence under the NGO lookalike, Mangfold Shuset, House of Diversity. The network organises roughly 6,000 events annually and raises funds to be transferred to its headquarters in the US. Its activities have also drawn attention due to their alleged links with political circles. In Belgium, the network's academic presence dates back to 2003 with the Lesurse schools. But behind the scenes, the network was reportedly financed through donations, ranging from €10,000 to €15,000 per family, and up to €250,000 from larger companies. These funds were used to support FETO prep courses, youth programs, and training activities across Europe, just like the chartered system in the US. There have also been allegations that €500 per month was collected in Belgium for families of detained FETO members in Türkiye, with plans to provide payments to around 600 families. In some cases, students were reportedly assigned essays advocating for the release of detained FETO terrorists in Türkiye, while exam materials included questions about FETO ringleader Fethullah Gülen. Scandals have also surfaced elsewhere in Europe. In Denmark, a 2018 investigation by DR, Danish Broadcasting Corporation, found that FETO-linked private high schools were accused of systematically inflating grades to help students gain admission to higher education. In 2024, Vistula University in Poland was ranked by authorities as the most misused institution by foreign nationals. FETO-linked students reportedly used the university not to pursue an education, but rather to secure residence permits through enrollment, giving them freedom to move across Schengen countries. By the second academic year, student numbers dropped by nearly 40%. Turkey has repeatedly raised concerns about the group's global network through diplomatic channels. Its Ministry of Foreign Affairs has urged countries to take a closer look at the institutions linked to the organization, particularly in the fields of education, civil society, and business. While some countries, mostly in Africa and the Balkans, have responded with investigations, closures, or transfers of institutions to Turkey's official education foundation, the Marie Foundation, most Western governments have taken a more limited approach. However, a decade after the coup attempt that martyred 253 Turkish citizens, Ankara continues to urge international partners to take action against the practices of the terror group under legal enterprises. Turkish authorities have also been warning these countries about the sinister or heinous nature of these institutions founded and or funded by FETO members. Will the US and Europe finally realize the internal danger in harboring them?